This is the diary of Dr. Zeno Nejiro. If found, please return. Or else. To think that Dr. Hikari would contact me again. I thought I'd burned that bridge after my arrest, but it seems he's far more forgiving than he thought. Either that or he is in desperate need of my talents. He invited me to join the Midoriya Foundation's scientific research branch. What interested me was that he said something about a new energy and that he couldn't go into detail over the phone. Naturally, this made me curious, not that I was going to refuse an opportunity for work given my current lack of funds. He also told me to be very careful about how I behaved, as Mr. Midoriya is aware of my former fugitive status, and he's currently in an extremely paranoid state due to the various attacks by Quirkist idiots. This makes me wonder why he agreed to me being hired in the first place, but again, I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. Chaos energy. Believe it or not, I have actually encountered this energy before, but it was so weakened and diluted that I didn't truly understand it. This is the discovery of the century. With this, so much is possible. Things that I once could have only dreamed of are now within my grasp. And to think the government dismissed this. They always have been blind to the beauty of science and its infinite potential. And now they're finally paying for it. We're only just delving into the endless potential of chaos energy, not even scratching the surface. But already I can tell that this will be the discovery that will make my wish a reality. I, Dr. Zeno Nejiro, will create a superhero. The first big hurdle toward my goals has already been overcome. Normally metal is unable to properly utilize the true power of chaos energy, only being able to harness its raw power and not its more fantastic abilities. It seems like chaos energy is more compatible with organic substances. With that in mind, we quickly came up with the solution to use cactus metal. You see, they've been experimenting with plants and chaos energy, very interesting stuff I'll have to look into later, but for now, what's important is that it created a cactus made of something very similar to metal, but is still completely organic. With this, we can make machines capable of using the power of quarks. However, this metal is not the strongest. It's quite strong, however, it doesn't match up to the strongest metals, and it has a weakness to small pointed objects. Like bullets. I'll need to find a way to either use chaos energy to strengthen them or perhaps merge it with other metals while retaining its ability to make use of chaos energy, or both. Actually, both sound best. Well, that was simple. So long as the cactus metal, we must find a better name for that, is integrated into the machine on a broad level, then you can use as much regular metal as you wish. Now that that problem's been solved, I have a new one. I need to acquire a chaos emerald. The chaos emeralds are pure and seemingly infinite pools of chaos energy, power on an unimaginable scale. Nothing else will do, my creations must make use of the chaos emerald. Only issue is, there is no way I'll get permission to use it. The Chaos Emerald is the most protected object in the laboratory. Not just anyone can use it. I'd have to build up trust for years before I could even ask. Obviously, I'm not going to wait that long. So I have two options. 1. Create an emerald myself. Or 2. Show them my project and hope it impresses them so much they'd be willing to take the risk. Overall, number 1 is more difficult but less risky. So I think I'll go with that. Now, I just have to figure out how to create a source of near unlimited power. Child's play. I wrote child's play sarcastically, but it was actually far easier than I imagined. Analyzing the fractals told me most of what I needed to know, and spying on a bit of Dr. Jicken's blueprints told me the rest. However, I've once again reached a wall that has blocked my time, and time again. Money. Even with my generous salary, buying the materials needed to actually create a Chaos Emerald would take too long. And that's not even counting the time I'd need to spend charging the thing. Damn it, I need to figure something out quick. My good fortune continues. Recently the lab has ordered quite a lot of the materials needed to create Chaos Emeralds. Most likely to create Chaos Emeralds. So I just simply asked for the materials, and they gave them to me. I didn't ask for them all at once as to avert suspicion, but still, I didn't think it would be that easy. They must not suspect I'm going to create my own Chaos Emerald. I'm a bit insulted, but I'll look past it. Now the other issue is charging the emerald. It takes half a year to fully charge a Chaos Emerald. I could likely charge it faster by using multiple chaos engines, however, that would still take too long and draw too much attention. I must find another way. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX doing research into opening portals in the cognitive realm. If I had to find something that could surpass the Chaos Emerald, it would be another dimension housing the collective consciousness of all mankind. If I could find some way to open a portal into the cognitive realm and siphon its energy into my own Chaos Emerald, then I could charge it near instantly. And so I signed up for Project Special Rend. Not only will this bring me closer to my own goal, but it will assist the Foundation as well. How generous I am. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX interested in. If only because it's not fully within my area of expertise. Although from what it looks like, opening a hole through dimensions seems to be no one's area of expertise. It feels like we've been going in circles over and over again, but my luck has not abandoned me. Professor Hatta knows some people with connections to the Ether Foundation, a place that has done extensive research into tearing holes through dimensions. And he's offered to acquire some of their notes. Although it's unknown how successful they were, it should at the least be helpful. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX I'm starting to suspect that the Ether Foundation actually did make a portal to another dimension. Dr. Akira and I have taken to these notes like a fish in water, and using our combined expertise, we've already created a prototype. We'll be testing it soon. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX sword, we've created a portal. Currently, it's only about as large as my palm, and at first, I thought we created a portal to space. The moment it opened, it started sucking everything inside like a vacuum. After we managed to get that issue under control, and peeked inside, it seemed even more like we'd opened a gate into space. It was a completely black void, with lights that glowed just like stars littered across it. However, what quickly tipped us off that this was not in fact space, was the glowing string-like lines that connected all of the stars. We quickly had to close the portal once more, as it was leaking chaos energy on a scale 10 times that of a chaos engine. It's everything I could have hoped for. I'm taking a risk. I have to time this just right. The best way to charge the Chaos Emerald is to simply send it directly into cognitive space. Due to the massive amounts of chaos energy that exist in the cognitive space, I'll be able to charge the emerald in a matter of minutes. Only issue is if I leave it in there for just a minute too long, it may risk overcharging the emerald, leading it to detonate. And I doubt they'll give the materials again if I don't have anything to show for it. I must get this right. Success! I finally have a fully charged Chaos Emerald. The hardest obstacle has finally been overcome, the time for my dreams to come true is near. Part of me feels bad for doing all this behind everyone's back, but they'll understand once my project is complete. The first thing I have to do is create an artificial body that can house the power of a Chaos Emerald. Normally, this would be almost impossible, however with the help of Reinforcement Fractal, I was able to finally create a body that could withstand the overwhelming power of the emerald, well for the most part. While the body doesn't explode, most of the internal circuitry fries almost immediately. So close, yet so far. I must admit this was a quite frustrating endeavor, however, I finally found a solution. Using similar materials that make up the fractals, I made more agreeable circuitry and hardware, as well as the addition of an exhaust feature. With this, I'm yet another step closer. I suppose it's time I've given my creation its name. Soon you will be born, Gamma. I just discovered something that could change the very nature of science. As I was working on Gamma software, I found that something was already there. It was like the basic framework for a human mind. Like a baby developing in the womb. The emerald was behind this. I took a closer look at the emerald, and after extensive searching, I found something, information. Information on how to create a consciousness. Something you'd only see in a reproductive cell. Could it be that chaos energy is the key to human consciousness? Has chaos energy always been intertwined with human consciousness? And if so, why is it only in these past few 100 years has it led to the development of quirks? Questions for later. What I do know is that this is yet another stroke of luck. It's almost as if some higher power has been guiding me this whole time. Wait. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX everything I'd been doing and had allowed me to get this far. I was brought in for questioning by him and his guards, and my work was exposed to the rest of the lab staff. At first, I thought I was done for, but surprisingly, especially given his situation, Midoriya was very understanding. He allowed me to explain my reasons for what I was doing, and listened to everything I said. In the end, he said I would be allowed to continue Project Superhero, but it would be an official project, and I would be heavily monitored. Not only that, but Gamma was placed into storage, as was the Chaos Emerald I'd made. Mr. Midoriya said the world was not ready for something that powerful just yet, and that development on Gamma would be on hold. At the very least he wasn't destroyed, and Mr. Midoriya gave us a task that was quite interesting and might serve as a decent replacement. Create a fractal that could wield the quirk of All Might and Ochako Uraraka, who seem to share a quirk. Perhaps they're distant relatives? Mr. Midoriya told me not to ask any questions in that regard, and given that I'm on thin ice, I think I'll focus on other things. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX All Might and Uravity's DNA, I found an entire network of information, as well as different types of chaos energies that gave off brainwaves. We were unable to recreate such things in the fractals, however. At first, using the normal method for giving a fractal a particular quirk seemed to not work with All Might and Uravity's quirk. We got some fractals that could recreate the zero gravity, but nothing else. That was until we found that those fractals had an increased capacity for chaos energy. Not as much as the emeralds or even All Might and Uravity's original quirk, but it's still quite a bit. It will make a good power source for my new creations Gamma 1 and 2. As for the original Gamma, I've renamed him Gamma 0, for now. Don't worry Zero, one day you'll be completed.